Tonight, a Norval home destroyed in a fire. A Bundaberg man seriously injured in an e-scooter crash. Fed-up residents tackling Hervey Bay's hooning problem, and drivers urged to stay safe this fatality-free Friday.
This is 7 News with Rob Brough.
Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. We start tonight with developing news. A home has been destroyed after a fire broke out around 3 this afternoon on Dr. Mays Road in Norville. 7 crews were called in and 1 man had to be rescued.
That person turned out to be in the backyard who did make the 000 call, but he couldn't get to the front.
The owner has told 7 News the blaze was sparked by cooking on the stove. A pet rat and a number of rare tarantulas died in the blaze. A Bundaberg North man has suffered serious head injuries in an e-scooter crash. Police are appealing for dashcam vision and are reminding riders to obey the road rules. Jamie Tenikoff has more.
The 57-year-old's been flown to the Royal Brisbane Hospital with serious head injuries. Police have confirmed he wasn't wearing a helmet. The incident happened here at Key Street around 7 last night. The Bundy North man was crossing between footpaths when he lost control.
So at this stage we believe that he's fallen off the e-scooter and has collided with a tree.
He remains in a serious but stable condition in hospital. Police say his injuries might not have been so severe if he was wearing a helmet.
We can't continue to see people getting injured and killed on these e-scooters. People need to remember these are not play toys.
The incident follows another crash at Norville last month, which resulted in the death of 14-year-old Jacob Lavaring. Forensic crash investigators confirmed he was also not wearing a helmet.
Those who are aged 12 to 16 should be accompanied by an adult. Only 1 person on an e-scooter at the time, no more than 24 kilometres an hour on the road, no more than 12 kilometres an hour when you're on a footpath.
Officers say the vast majority of e-scooter riders they see on a daily basis aren't following the rules.
There have been nearly 300 motor vehicle thefts reported across our region so far this year. Now, Hervey Bay residents, fed up by hooning, have taken matters into their own hands.
It's the roaring sound no homeowner wants to hear late at night.
We love our homes. It's a beautiful paradise, and we don't want to lose it to senseless, tragic accidents.
Catherine Walsh moved to Hervey Bay 4 years ago. Since then, she says hooning and crime in the area have increased tenfold.
To us it is. To the residents it is as bad as it seems.
Neighbours say they heard cars making loud noise on Boundary Road one night after 43-year-old Tash Raven was allegedly hit by a silver Ford Falcon on the same stretch. There have been multiple reports of hooning in the last week in Torquay and Point Vernon too.
We will always back community safety. This last week I've just had so many complaints about hooning all over the town.
Catherine decided to start a community-run Crime Watchers group, sharing details with police, council and the public.
We decided to do something about it, trying to reduce the risk to the public and to our wildlife and to make the streets a little bit safer.
A new petition to reduce the speed limit around Point Vernon has also already reached 500 signatures.
Our hard-working police need the resources to be able to enforce the existing laws.
Tom Duffy, 7 News.
Road safety advocates have banded together in a desperate plea to drivers to help tackle the rising road toll. Today is Fatality-Free Friday, but police say motorists should always remember to put safety first.
1,273 photos are hanging on this wall. Each one represents a life lost on Australian roads in 2023, a confronting display to spread an important message for Fatality-Free Friday.
Road trauma is the biggest killer of Australian children aged between 1 and 14.
Yesterday, another tragic day on Queensland roads. 54-year-old Stephen Wheeler and his mother and father in their 80s never made it to their destination.
Between 5 and 6 Australians will be killed on Australian roads every single Friday. So if we can try and improve that, have one fatality-free Friday, we hope it's a stepping stone to ultimately a fatality-free future.
For every person killed on the roads, 40 more are injured, like crash survivor Dinesh Palapana.
I haven't been able to use my fingers, I haven't been able to walk, and the impact on my life, I feel every single day.
Their stories are a stark reminder the key to a fatality-free future is in our hands.
When you're speeding, you've got less time to perceive, less time to react, and less time to actually get yourself out of a situation.
Inside a car, sometimes we think that we're invincible, but really, we're not.
Tiani Reid, 7 News.
The Bundaberg Tilt train will soon be back on track after 14 months of running at limited capacity due to maintenance. The work was to bolster safety, with the member for Bundaberg saying it will allow trains to operate for many more years to come.
Bundy locals like John Airy have been dealing with the limited tilt train timetable for months.
Yeah, it has been an inconvenience since the other one's been off, when they take one off the line, you know.
But that's set to change from September 2, when the service from Brisbane to Rockhampton will be back on track. That's including Bundaberg's 9 one-way routes.
Those tilt train services will be coming back online, but good news for Bundy locals is that they can already start booking their tickets as of this week.
Safety is Queensland Rail's #1 priority, and these trains needed to come out of service to do important critical maintenance work and boost the reliability of the trains.
The maintenance includes upgrades to carriages, including better brakes, couplers, traction packages and improved bandwidth and connectivity to the onboard Wi-Fi.
Well, as important as the Bruce Highway is for those who drive every day, it's also important that this rail service is there for commuters.
The tilt train can get passengers from Bundaberg to Brisbane in around 5 hours. You can book online at queenslandrailtravel.com.au.
It will be a good thing when it comes back.
Jamie Tanikoff, 7 News.
Wide Bay Health has launched a coordination hub at Hervey Bay Hospital, helping staff from all departments work together to give patients the care they need. Queensland Ambulance says it's made the workflow more efficient than ever.
Working together to make sure patients are seen as soon as possible.
It brings back to the core that everything's around the patient.
The $150,000 state government-funded hub manages real-time data, helping ambulance and hospital staff manage patient flow. It includes a hot desk for a QAS officer who can coordinate with other areas of the health service.
It's really brought our teams together, both Wide Bay Health staff and ambulance staff, and that communication with Queensland Ambulance Service and the hospital has been vital to that.
In a job where time is of the essence, the real-time data means patients have faster access to healthcare. Staff can see who is presenting to the hospital, which patients require discharge, and who needs urgent procedures.
It just improves the patient's journey. It allows us to manage and track it every step along the way.
The hub has been 5 months in the making, and there are already improvements in patient stretcher times and the time taken to be seen.
Always looking at improvements in health. We know here in Hervey Bay we've already done a lot to improve the flow through of patients.
Tom Duffy, 7 News.
Do you have a neighbour who loves lending a hand, or maybe know a local business that's always willing to fund a community project? Well, now there's a way to thank them by nominating them for this year's 7 News Queensland Community Achievement Awards. There are 8 awards up for grabs, with the full details of each category available online. Nominations close on Wednesday, August 15. Well, ahead tonight, a new safe space for victims of DV at Bundaberg Police Station. And lawnmower races revving up for a weekend of cutting-edge sport. Nice having you with us here on 7. Bundaberg Police have introduced a private soft room at the station to support victims of domestic and family violence.
The whole purpose is to make them feel comfortable here in the room. Often women come in here with their children, so we've got things in here that kids can play with to keep them amused while the mother is giving her statement to the police.
Spaces like these are being rolled out at the Bargara, Childers and South Callan stations, as well as others across Queensland. New technology is taking the guesswork out of reef conservation. It's predicting the risk of diseases impacting coral 12 weeks in advance, so researchers can step in and stop outbreaks before they happen.
What looks like a simple map has the capacity to predict the future.
We've developed a coral disease outbreak prediction tool.
Professor Heron has developed the multi-factor coral disease risk tool, along with scientists from the United States. With a click of a button, you can see what the reef health looks like now and what it will look like in 4, 8 or even 12 weeks' time.
So there's two key types of coral disease that we've focused on, white syndromes and growth anomalies.
It's hoped the new technology will inform government decisions and also help those who rely on the reef, like tourism operators or First Nations custodians.
The more we can understand about threats, the better we can help people and their use of reefs.
While this program will aid in reef conservation, Professor Heron says the only real way to save our reef is to stop climate change.
It's also critical to remember that we need to do all we can to minimise the multiple threats and stresses that affect our reefs. Climate change is the biggest of those, and we must act quickly.
Sophie McManus, 7 News.
Using social media may seem harmless, and it can be, but an American computer scientist says overuse can be as bad as heroin and cocaine addiction. Brad Huddleston has joined Queensland Police touring the state to warn about the dangers of digital addiction.
It's the modern way to communicate. But US researcher and author Brad Huddleston says children are quickly becoming addicted to their devices.
We're seeing the problems with digital addiction increase all over the world. The brain scans are showing identical addiction as those who would be addicted to cocaine and heroin.
He's teamed with Queensland Police to help warn about dangers of increased online exposure.
While the good is there, we have unintended consequences in the form of ADHD, suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety disorders.
There is an increase in bullying complaints coming through to QPS, violent outbursts as well from children from excessive use of digital devices and social media.
He's hoping his contribution will make a big difference.
This is my first country of 4 on this tour, so I've been very busy. This is school number 18.
Children have been engaging so well and asking really important questions.
Spreading the message before it's too late.
He's doing amazing work and just, providing education to children on how to monitor their own usage as well.
We had a huge shift away from what we call the analog world, which is actually healthy for the brain, into the digital world, and so we need to balance that out.
Savannah Burke, 7 News.
If you want to have a look at something a little different this weekend, there's a new sport in town, and it's sure to generate a bit of noise. The Australian mower racing titles begin this Saturday at Tanana's Speedway grounds. 4 races from New Zealand will join more than 130 competitors. So dust off your ride-ons and get the engines revving. It's $5 entry, kids under 12 are free. Not sure the 2-stroke will cut it.
I'd like to see you try that though, that'd be good.
Alrighty. Now the footy, Nate, that returns to Salter Oval tomorrow, mate.
It does indeed, Broughy, and the Hervey Bay Seagulls are travelling up the highway, confident their first win of the BRL season isn't far away. We'll have more on that next. And Brothers Bulldogs to celebrate a milestone in tomorrow's Bundy Derby in Wide Bay AFL.
Stream 7 News anywhere, anytime, live and on demand on 7plus. And with 7news.com.au, you'll know the news now.
And welcome back. Well, the rebuild of the Hervey Bay Seagulls continues with coach Phi Sammy seeing improvement, and he believes the team's first win of the Bundaberg Rugby League season is within reach. And this is a boost. Their captain's back for a round 6 showdown against the West Panthers.
After a winless start to the season, the Hervey Bay Seagulls believe they are not far away from a victory and believe this could be the weekend.
Last time we played in the first round, we gave them a real good game. This week the boys got to be front up and ready to play.
We'll be all right. We just got to focus on what our game plan is and just get through the structure and, just complete our sets and we'll be fine.
The team will be bolstered by the return of their captain and halfback, David Woodbridge, who was injured in a pre-season trial.
Yeah, that'll be all right. Just, stick to the same game plan that we go in with.
He is not concerned about the predicted wet weather.
It's just good to get back around the boys again and just, miss playing footy.
Coach Sammy believes the club's future is becoming brighter.
We've got a lot of numbers, a lot of young fellas coming up, This is our first year to rebuild the club again, so, the result will come.
The Seagulls squad missed out on any representative honours for the season when the 47th Battalion Bundaberg squad was named earlier in the week. The annual CQ Championship Series will be held in Kingaroy in July. Brendan Bowers, 7 News.
Switching to the NRL, and Bundy's Cohen Hess will remain a North Queensland Cowboy until the end of 2027 after agreeing to a 3-year contract extension. The new deal almost guarantees Hess will become a one-club player as he'll turn 31 at the end of this deal. The forward is 14th on the Cowboys' all-time appearance list with 167 games over his 10 seasons with the club. He's currently recovering from knee surgery and is expected to return for the 2025 season. Well, this weekend will be a milestone match for the Brothers Bulldogs captain in Wide Bay AFL. It's game 150 for Tristan Taylor, and it's given the side some extra incentive ahead of their showdown with Bundaberg rivals Waves Eagles.
The AFL Wide Bay spotlight shines on Frank Coulthard Oval tomorrow when the Waves Eagles host Brothers Bulldogs in the only senior men's fixture. It's where Tristan Taylor will notch up 150 games for the Bulldogs.
It is pretty special, something I'll probably look back on more at the end of my career. For now, just enjoying the season and trying to get a win.
Taylor believes his team need to improve in some aspects of the game if they want to get a win.
Our midfield work's probably got to be a bit better in there in terms of the way we get it out and our skill level.
Eagles captain Michael Blair agrees with Taylor about the importance of the middle third.
If we can win the ball out of the midfield, then I'm pretty confident we can get the W.
Although sitting fourth on the ladder, Blair believes the team are in every game.
This year we're 1-4, but we've been in a lot of games.
The Eagles know what they need to do with the predicted wet weather to get the win.
So just keep it basic skills, get the ball forward, and just lock it into our forward line.
Bulldogs coach Jamison Webb knows his team will have to be at their best to beat the improving Eagles.
Waves first round, there wasn't a lot separating us and those guys. We sort of just got probably the better end of the last quarter, ran away with it a little bit stronger. I honestly think whoever shows up on the day will get the 4 points.
Brendan Bowers, 7 News.
And good luck to Tristan in his big game for the club. That's it for sport tonight. Thanks, Broughy.
Yeah, thank you, Nath. We'll have a look at the weather details in a moment for the weekend. Coming up with Liv right after the break.
Hello there, Livio, Regano with tonight's weather. Showers are beginning to clear the tropics, but in the south they're doing just the opposite. A wave of modest but steady rain is already affecting the Darling Downs and should reach southern coastal areas by tomorrow afternoon, clearing on Sunday with a sunny southwesterly change to herald the start of winter. 26 degrees, the top in Bundaberg today after a low this morning of 18. Hervey Bay got to 25 and Gympie 24. At 3 p.m, our local hygrometer reading at the airport was 65%. To the satellite loop, we'll start with the tropics first. Most of the showers have contracted north to the Cassary and Daintree coasts, a little bit around Cairns, nothing left around the Herbert Burdekin, and very little around the central coast and Whitsundays as well. However, this next big band of sheet cloud is now quickly moving in from the west. It's already started raining over the Downs, just light stuff in the central highlands, and tomorrow, probably through afternoon, it'll reach coastal parts in the form of moderate rain. Today's chart, on the surface we have a cold front connected to a trough, and remember there's an upper level system as well, and that's generating that big band of sheet cloud. In the tropics, isobars have pulled apart, so the winds are lighter and consequently the showers are starting to clear. Tomorrow's chart, the trough and frontal system moves into southeast Queensland, pole position for an afternoon of rain. It'll start earlier, of course, inland and probably reach the central southern coast later. And then on the outlook chart, that system moves offshore as a low spins up off the New South Wales coast. A dry, cool southwesterly change comes through for Sunday, Monday. To the latest now from BOM, the boating forecast for Hervey Bay waters, northwest to northeast winds, just 10 to 15 knots tomorrow. A southwesterly change early morning Sunday, so it's about the same strength, but then picking up to 15 to 20 knots on Monday. Gari offshore waters, northerlies will reach 25 knots briefly in the afternoon. Southwesterly change on Sunday, same as a bay, and a bit more straight westerly for Monday, 15 to 20 knots. Neap tides again tomorrow. It's the half moon, so there isn't much swing in the tide. The water will be lowest around late morning and highest in the evening. For the Wide Bay Burnett, some inland fog and then showers to follow. Bundaberg 17 to 25 degrees, Gympie and Hervey Bay 24, Maribor 25 again. Looking ahead for Bundaberg, cooler, drier southerlies on Monday should quickly give way to moisture-laden winds from the ocean by midweek, restoring cloud cover and raising nighttime temperatures once again. And that's it for this week, Folkaronis. Pleasure to have your company as always, and thanks for watching 7 Local Weather. I'll be back on Monday with the next instalment. Hope you can join me. Now it's back to the team.
Yeah, wonderful, Liv. Good on you, mate. That wraps it up. Have a good weekend, won't you? We'll see you back on Monday night. From the team, take care. Good night.